Usisahau kusubscribe na kubonyeza alama ya kengele ili kupokea habari zetu kila wakati.
Some kind of negotiation, discussion was now moving on, because if the players for the Taifa Stars would come back on the 28, 29, that would only give us like 2 days of preparation. And I think I have mentioned again and again, the will to be prepared is so important. And that is the reason, after some discussion, now the agreement between everyone is that all players will report for the Taifa Stars camp on the 24th of August, which means we can start our training on the 25th. That gives us 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th. It gives us 5 days, and then we have to travel to Lubumbashi, DRC Congo, play DRC Congo. I can just tell you, I took a check to see how do our neighbors around us, how do they prepare. If I check Uganda, they started exactly that we wanted on the 15th of August. And after some days, some training, they go to the Middle East, to Jordan, to prepare themselves for a camp there, to play 2 international friendly. And then they come back and they play another international friendly on the 29th. That is close to 3 weeks and 3 international friendly. That was the kind of preparation as head coach I was dreaming about. But the reality is different, and we now have, from the 25th of August, we have 5 days. With 5 days of preparation, I have suggested to TFF that at least we play 1 international friendly. This 1 international friendly can be played on the 29th, on Sunday, the 29th of August, and then the day after we will have to leave for DRC Congo. So, because everything there have been this discussion, now TFF is now trying to find an opponent to play on the 29th. Hopefully we will have 1 international friendly, and it has to be here in Dar es Salaam, because with only 5 days of preparation, we cannot afford to travel outside and use 2 or 3 days for traveling, because we only have 5 days of preparation here in Dar. So hopefully it will go well, that we can do 4 days of training, then play an international friendly on the 29th of August here in Dar. And we are in contact with some of our neighbors to see if they can come here and play with us. As I mentioned, we are playing the 2 games. The first one will be the 2nd of September in Lubumbashi. We will play artificial ground. And that's also the reason when we prepare here, we will prepare at artificial, either at Uhuru or at JK Park. So we are training at artificial. Then we come back, and then on the 7th of September, we have to play Madagascar here in Dar. That is the first 2 games in the first window of FIFA in September. Just for your information, if you look at the ranking of the team in our group, we are 4 teams. The DRC Congo is at the FIFA ranking number 1. They are the 61 at the moment. And then we have Benin. They are like number 80, 82 I think it's exactly. And then we have Madagascar. They are ranking number 3. They are number 100. And then the last one is Tanzania. We are ranked around 140, like 137. So that is the ranking in our group. The team selection for this time is, as always, based on the performance of the player when they play mainly in the Vodacom Premier League. Of course, we have also looked at how did the team perform last camp when we played Malawi. And there's also have an eye on how did the players perform when they went with the under-23 for the Sekafa Cup, where they took the title. So it's a combination that we need to have players who are ready to perform because they have performed well, whatever they perform for their club team or for the under-23. And then we also bring some players in which have the potential for tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. We want to groom some players. I can give you an example. I will let you know the name a little bit later. But when it comes to goalkeepers, we will have 4 goalkeepers in the beginning. When we travel, we will travel with 3 goalkeepers. So the 2 of the goalkeepers will be experienced. And then we have chosen 2 very young goalkeepers, which we believe have the potential for the day after tomorrow. And if you remember last time when I was here, some years back, Aishi Manula at that time, he was in as a young player together with the experienced goalkeeper. And then from there he was groomed, and today he's the keeper number 1 in the country. So we still want to groom some young players there as well. So let me now, I always try to practice a little bit of the Swahili. So Nataka, Kutangasa, Kikosi, cha Timu, ya Taifa, ya Tanzania, Taifa Stars. The 28 players who are selected is Aishi Manula, Emnata, and then the 2 young goalkeepers I talked about, Ramahani Kabwili and Wilbul Maseke, who was also a part of the under-23 tournament. Then we have Somari Kapombe, Israel Mwenda, Erasto Leoni, Dixon Yob, Bakari Wanyeto, Kennedy Juma, and then again 2 young players, Lusatio Ilukaka and Abdul Razak Hamza, who did a good job with the under-23. Then we have Muhammad Hussein, Nixon Kibabache, Edward Manyama, and that is the defender. When we go to the midfielder, we have Ayub Lianga, Meshak, and then we also want this time to bring Novatus Dismas in. He is actually at the moment playing for Maccabi Tel Aviv, and he is actually tonight he is in Europe to play the European Confederation Cup, and he's playing for his team. We have another player who is also playing tonight in the European, that's Samata, who is playing for Fenerbahce. And then we have Msamiro, and we have Mudati Yahaya, Faisal Saloom, Saloom Abubakar, and Sawadi Muya. And then we have Idi Nado, Abdul Sulaiman, and then we have Mbana Samata, John Boko, and Simon Msuva. Totally, it's 4 goalkeepers and 24 outfield players. That's 28. The day we are traveling to Congo, we will travel with 23 players. So we will leave 5 players behind us. But for the first day, we would like to have this number because we never know. There can be players who are injured. It can be the COVID test or whatever. So we need to have to be on the safe side. And we also want to give some of the youngsters to groom them for the future. And if you look at the team selection, I think the youngest players we have in the squad is like Abdul Razak and Misak. They are born 2003. Then we have Dixon, Nixon, Novatus. They are born 2002. And then we have Abdul and Ramahani and Wilbul and Israel. They are born 2000. So there is a number of young players, and at the same time, they are also the very experienced player. And of course, when you play the World Cup qualification, you play away in the first game against a strong opponent who are number 60 on the FIFA ranking, and majority of the Congo players are all coming from top level in Europe, all of them. They are playing Belgium, La Liga, Premier League, and so on. Then we need to have players who have experience and know to be strong in the situation. So I think we have a good balance of youngsters and experienced players who can support each other. I look forward to start the camp. And last time when we had the camp, there was a very, very nice harmony between all the players in the team. They like to work together outside, out the pitch and on the pitch. They were really a good, like a big football family. And that's what we want to build again, to continue to have this good respect for each other and the commitment that everyone wants to work, because it's so important that everyone comes there, because he wants to grow, he wants to be better and better, and he wants to give his strengths to the team. Because first of all, it's about the Taifa Stars. Asante sana. Question? Feel free. Yes?
We have hope that we can qualify.
In football, you always have a hope. And the day you don't have hope, I will not be in the football business anymore. Because you can predict, and of course, if you predict and you look at the FIFA ranking, you can say it looks like a tough journey. But there's always a hope in football. And me, for the players and me, we are going into the World Cup qualification to be competitive and to achieve something. And then we have to see how far we go. But we have the belief, we have the hope, for sure.
Okay. Another question is that home ground is very important to be well utilized. How do you prepare for 3 matches which you play in Gaza?
3 matches at
our home ground, because it's must to win.
I think, first of all, home ground is always giving the players a little bit extra comfortable. So for me, the challenge is not that, I'm sure at the home ground they know the surrounding. It's more to also tell the players that when you go away, try to, I always use the picture, try to imagine you are putting some curtains around your face and the ground is the same size as home. The referee is there, there's 11 opponents, there's 1 ball, so try to also perform and get something. Because I know from last AFCON, I think one of the critical things was that you didn't get any point away in the away games at the AFCON. So of course you have to be strong at home, but I think that automatically the players, but they also automatically have to feel that when they go outside, yes, still believe in themselves.
Tanzania is always try our level to reach the top target to make a success with the World Cup, and we always fail. So maybe what the way to overcome this at least one day to win to go to the World Cup?
Thanks for the question. I think it's a very good, nice question. And I think you have to look at this question in a long-term perspective, because every country around the world, they have the ambition to be a part in the World Cup because it's the cream of the cream, it's the best. And end of the day, it reflects the football level of the country. How competitive are the best league? How is the educational system? How are the academy regulation? How are the youth football pathway? All these things, you more think a federation or country have in place, you better, end of the day, the chances is to go for the World Cup. If you look at the teams who have been winning the World Cup most times, whatever is South American teams or European teams, you see that if you go to that background of Brazil or Germany, you see how everything is well organized, it's very systematical, and from they're very young and all the way up. Most of the players who are playing for the top, when they play World Cup, they have maybe like 50 games just for the youth national team, international experience. Because it is like you have to get on the growing pathway, you get more and more mature. So I think that is the answer for the long time. Then, of course, in football, you try to see if you can make a little bit shortcut sometimes. But end of the day, I think we all have a picture who will win the World Cup, the next World Cup, because there are some countries who are always there because of their infrastructure. Always they are there.
Coach, you're adding more young players, but there's a question that we don't see many players from Zanzibar. What is your strategy to make sure that you bring also those talents you can play?
I think the end of the day, I look at it as Tanzania, and when I select the player, I select the players according to the performance. I'm not looking at the back to see, are you from Wanza or you're from Stone Town? No, I'm looking at the way they perform because I think that's the way I do. Then I also see that if a player is doing a good job in Zanzibar, very, very quickly he will now go to one of the bigger clubs. So there are players like Muda, I know him from young, he is from Zanzibar, he's now playing. So I think for me it's like the pathway, if you are a talented player, and all the respect for Zanzibar League, but if a player is very talented, what is happening with this player? He will now go to one of the big clubs in the mainland, but he is still a Zanzibarian. So for me, I look at the players who are performing well and who have the potential to be there. You are right, we're adding young players in, but still, end of the day, we have experienced players at all positions when it comes to World Cup, because to play World Cup international level, there is the gap from the national to the international level. We need also to have players who are very robust, who have the experience, who are mature, who have tried to be in this situation not once but many times.
Jamani, asanteni sana. Na utaratibu sasa hivi mwalimu akimaliza hapa atumsimamishi kwenye miti kumhoji. Kama una jambo lako mhoji hapo mwalimu, akimaliza hapa anarudi ofisini. Ishu za kumsimamisha kwenye miti hapana, tunapoteza pia visibility ya partner. Sponsor wetu anakosa visibility kwa sababu ya sisi nyingine tunakuwa binafsi. Mwalimu akinyanyuka hapa ni ofisini, hakuna kumsimamisha kwenye miti. Coach, I just told them after finishing here, you are going straight to the office. No interview outside of this place.
Good.
Yes. From now onward, we can do the same. From here to the office.
Asante sana, it was nice to see you again. And let us wish each other good luck for the...
New Vision VTC Driving School ni shule yenye uzoefu wa kutosha katika kutoa mafunzo ya udereva bora. Tunafundisha udereva kwa kutumia mashine za kisasa ziitwazo Sediro, Self Driving Instructor in a Room. Mwanafunzi anajifunza udereva kwetu kama wanavyojifunza katika nchi zilizoendelea kama vile China na Uingereza. Mashine hizi zina faida zifuatazo: kumwezesha mwanafunzi kulifahamu gari kwa muda mfupi sana, kuondoa hali ya uoga kwa mwanafunzi, kumwezesha mwanafunzi kuzijua njia zote za kujihami na ajali, kumfanya mwanafunzi aone kuendesha gari ni kazi rahisi na rafiki. Tunao wakufunzi mahiri na wenye uzoefu mkubwa. Mafunzo yanaanza saa 12:30 asubuhi mpaka saa 11:30 jioni. Mafunzo yanafanyika katika mitaa mbalimbali ya Dar es Salaam. Unaweza kutupigia 0715847004 na 0754847004. Karibu sana New Vision VTC Driving School kwa mafunzo ya udereva bora.